Hey guys, how are you doing? Crypto Insight UK here, bringing you back another video. So today we are going to discuss a bit of news and then move on to a bit of TA towards the end, because a lot of what I talked about yesterday still rings true. There have been a few changes and a few things I've noticed I do want to talk to you guys about, but still sort of in a chopping period. We're still in this period that I've been talking about where I essentially think we're in extreme value. 21 on the Fear and Greed Index on CoinMarketCap, 45 on Alternative Me. I don't know how they've registered that or read that or created that metric. I don't understand, because I feel like it feels more like what we see here on CoinMarketCap, 21, which is technically fear, and 20 is extreme fear. It's probably one of the worst sentiment, or some of the worst sentiment I've felt in the crypto space, especially being at prices that we are. And I'll get into that in a minute. I just want to touch on some positive news, I guess, first, especially for XRP holders. Eleanor Tourette yesterday tweeted about having two well-placed sources saying that the SEC versus Ripple case is in the process of wrapping up and could be over soon. Long story short, they're essentially saying that the reason it's not yet over is because the SEC are basically stopping all their suits against all crypto companies, giving them a complete clean slate, and Ripple basically are saying, now, well, it's not fair if everyone else gets a clean slate and we don't. But obviously some of the judgments, because XRP was the first to battle in court, XRP and Ripple were the first to battle in court, some decisions have already been made by the court, which makes them law, and they have to then agree to then go and see the judge to get these decisions rescinded or taken back. So that's one thing. Definitely positive news, saying that things are probably going to change. Another extremely positive thing that happened just overnight / this morning is Ripple has secured regulatory approval from the Dubai Financial Services Authority, making us, being Ripple, the first blockchain payments provider licensed in DIFC. The milestone unlocks fully regulated cross-border crypto payments to the UAE, bringing faster, cheaper, and more transparent transactions to the $40 billion market. So Ripple have now got full regulatory license from the UAE to be able to trade crypto across border. This is huge. It's the first one we've seen, obviously. And I think this announcement has been understated and underappreciated by the world because of the way the market is right now. But things are teeing up for XRP to continue on this monumental run, in my opinion. And that's some of the TA that I'm going to get into in a minute. But I just wanted to highlight that for you guys. There's one other thing kind of related to that, kind of not, that I wanted to bring to your attention as well. Also happening in the UAE, which is MGX, which is Abu Dhabi's sovereign wealth fund, or one of them, invests $2 billion into Binance from a minority stake. The transaction is 100% in stablecoins, making it the largest investment transaction ever done to date. So the UAE is really taking the bull by its horns here. Interesting, they've now got a share in Binance for $2 billion. And they asked CZ what he's going to do with the $2 billion. He said probably buy alts in the future. So maybe CZ is seeing what we are and what I'm about to talk about in a second. But yeah, they're the main topics I wanted to talk to you guys about. And now I'm going to get into, actually, finally this, before I get into some TA. This is wild. So New Market Capital CEO Andrew Hans suggests the US government to issue $2 trillion of BIT bonds to buy $200 billion worth of Bitcoin in the US Strategic Reserve. He's basically saying it's a type of treasury where people get exposure to Bitcoin and they get 50% of the upside, and the US government get 50% of the upside, and the rest are in treasuries. And I said it feels like MBSs are happening in real time. If you watch The Big Short, it's the best way for me to explain it. I'm not I find mortgage-backed securities quite complicated and tranche is quite complicated, so my terminology on this might be wrong. But essentially, it looks like they're starting to wrap Bitcoin or suggesting to wrap Bitcoin in with the financial products. And what I said was, remember what happens. This leads to the biggest crash in history when they start to wrap financial products together to dampen the volatility in inverted commas and make them safe. Eventually, the volatility will get cracked one way or another, and there will be a crash. But before that becomes the biggest bubble in history, which is the housing market in the US, obviously. And that's what I'm comparing it to. That's what I feel like it feels like. We're seeing that in real time, like the suggestion of this sort of thing. Whether it comes into fruition or not, I don't know, but that's what it feels like. And so to finish, and we're going to talk about some TA. On the short term, XRP has broken this recent downtrend, but like there's not significant volume behind the break. So I'm going to be honest with you guys, not significant volume behind the break, and we're still just chopping within a range. We can't really get bullish before we start to reclaim like 260 and realistically get back above the $3 mark. That's no help for anybody. I absolutely understand that. So that's why like I'm going to just talk about some other things. I don't think it's bearish that we've broken the recent slope and resistance. However, the lack of volume and shows like lack of conviction so far, so I can't get particularly bullish. Looking at Bitcoin, feels very similar. We've talked about these bullish divergences, basically where, I think this is on the daily, that's why my lines look like they're all over the place. Let's take us to the daily. Basically where we've got higher lows on the oscillators and lower lows in terms of price action. We've talked about this, and we just want to see continuation to the upside for when that can continue. But until then, we can just chop. Like, this is why I'm saying I'm not yet convicted. However, let's talk about a few things here, and this is what I've been tweeting about today as well. So first off, we just look at Bitcoin dominance, and I was looking at it on the 3-day. Basically saying Bitcoin dominance right now is at 62%. It's the highest it's been since literally here before our breakdown for our major alt season back in 2021. The highest we've been in Bitcoin dominance, meaning Bitcoin in relationship to the rest of the market has the most capital in it right now. Comparatively, the last time it had this much capital in it was 2021. So that means alts have underperformed. All alts have underperformed Bitcoin on the whole, and Bitcoin is massively outperforming everything at this point. However, and except from, and there may be some other anomalies as well, but except and however to XRP. XRP is actually at 4.9%, which is higher than it was all the way back to December of 2020. So that's definitely something to take into consideration. This was the area that I was comparing it to in Bitcoin. XRP actually has more market dominance than even Bitcoin does right now, or Bitcoin did back in 2021. So XRP is showing significant strength here against the market in general, but even outperforming Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's at its strongest point versus the market. So what I've been saying is when Bitcoin starts to weaken, we should see some rotation into XRP because it's showing more strength than Bitcoin. At some point, I think there'll be a rotation from Bitcoin that will happen. We should get an alt season at some point. Whether it comes, like I said, do we get the push up to the 67% level, which isn't that far away now, 5% away, which is where all alt seasons have started historically, between that 67% and 74%. Are we going to get that? I don't know. Are we going to find resistance here at this key level where we've had that breakdown before? Is this just a retracement to that breakdown? I do think Bitcoin goes below 39% this cycle. Bitcoin dominance, that is. So whether we get that or not, and when we get that, I don't know. History tells us we definitely get a breakdown at some point in Bitcoin dominance. Again, when that comes, I don't know. And my speculation is we go below 39%. In that scenario, XRP should take significant strength. If it continues with what it's doing so far, we've seen this massive outperformance versus the market as XRP dominance is at 4.9%. This is purely factual, no speculation here. The next part is speculation that this obviously continues, which I believe it will, because we haven't seen this like sort of strength from XRP before for a prolonged period of time, and we also have all of the pressure and the coiled up like tension from all the years of being suppressed. Well, XRP's literally bled out against the market since December 2018, all the way down to 2021, which we'd failed to then break highs, and then came all the way down even to June 24. So for 5 or 6 years we've bled out against the market, and then in the space of like 2 months we regained 3 or 4 years worth of price action. And then this month we've regained even further, and the next stage is to push out higher and regain, and at some point hopefully push towards that 32%. If Bitcoin goes higher in that time, it's absolutely fantastic news for XRP. XRP dominance, oscillators have cooled off. We've been sitting in the oversold area on the stochastic, and the standard RSI looks like it's ready to coil and bounce up to the upside. potentially when we get this, if we get this 3-day close green today, we might start to see that bullish cross come in for the 3-day RSI, which is where things start to get really spicy and exciting. The last time we had the 3-day RSI cross bullish was here, which was right here. And then the time before that was here, like in this period here, creating that bullish divergence as price came down and the oscillator found strength. So let's see what happens here. Is this going to be the catalyst for our next potential leg to the upside? I do presume so. I've been saying that I think it's coming sooner rather than later. XRP against ETH is on the 3-day. Got 14 hours left to close, but would be the highest 3-day close since April of 2020. And XRP against Bitcoin is a little different. It's still holding above, like I'll just take this across. See if I can zoom in here to make this more clear. It's still holding above previous resistance levels here. Let's see if we can get this all the way here. Nice. Yeah, it's holding above previous resistance levels. This is where we've like rejected. It's a slightly larger zone, and more like this. This is where we've rejected previously, and if we get this daily close, we are actually holding just above these previous like daily close levels. There's one set of daily closes here that we still won't be above, but we're super close, as you can see. And people could make the argument for some sort of bull pennant like this. I'm sure a lot of people are drawing things like this on their charts, and they're continuation patterns. So it's not wrong. It's absolutely right to be creating patterns like this. What happens is you come up, you coil in, and then you go up for your next leg. So everything's looking positive so far for me with XRP. I know that people like Blockchain Backer are saying they're going to heavily deleverage here at this level against Bitcoin, and it makes sense. But if we use Elliott wave theory, this is wave 1, wave 2. Wave 3 should really take us higher than that. In my opinion, it should take us probably towards this level. And then we should have wave 4 and potentially then wave 5. That's how Elliott wave theory works. And maybe we even set a high against Bitcoin in terms of XRP to Bitcoin price this cycle. Maybe we don't. Like, it would make sense because we've had that extra accumulation apart that other alts haven't had, because obviously the SEC lawsuit and like how XRP was singled out. But seeing the catalyst start to align and the foundation start to align for XRP around the world, I wouldn't be surprised to see that. However, I will be deleveraging heavily at key levels. So as much as I say that, watch what I do, not specifically what I say. With that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do share it with a friend. Hit the subscribe button, completely free to do. If you want to trade in any leverage, I have a free link to XRP that gives you, I think, $20 when you deposit $100 down below. Thank you very much for watching. As I said, do please sub. It's free to do and it helps me out a lot. Peace up, A-Town down, as Crypto Insight UK would say.